Friends of our channel and YouTubers, welcome. Answers of an Alien from Andromeda, 47th video, June 14, 2011. First of all, I would like to speak to you differently. The hundreds of issues you have raised are as different as possible, so I think is better a dissertation on the subjects than answer the questions itself, to eliminate most of the questions received. Why we do not interfere on the planet and save everyone. Let's start with Yellow Rose Mate. She is disappointed because we did not take an initiative to protect the masses, because the reptilians are helping your government. But Rose, you have not understood that it will make no difference. The 7 billion inhabitants of planet Earth cannot continue here, even if we could intercede. The capacity of this planet was exceeded in the last 150 years, by an absolute lack of control of your own society. The ceiling for this planet is 580 million, and 400 million would be just perfect. All the surplus of people could not be transferred to other planets, because planets where settlements already exist could not absorb those new residents, as a matter of balancing social, cultural and biological. Your disease and harmful microorganisms, good or bad habits, are inherent in this your colony. The only way for the distribution of humans to other colonies in the universe that is safe and rational, is through reincarnation. Any attempt otherwise than by universal law, would be a delay in development of those transferred. Thinks and ponders, are 6.4 billion people over, and off the correct frequency. There is no possibility of redemption for all. If someone is promising something like this, make sure it is a farce. What we think of the Earthlings. Adrian would like to know if we think that the Terrans are beautiful and interesting. Well, you are the same type that we look, very similar to several races of the Pleiades, and are present in thousands of other colonies in the universe. Sometimes I wonder if you keep thinking alone in the universe. Where all your seeds come up, there are humanoids like you, beautiful and ugly. I've seen girls Terran, you call shorty, 1.5 meters tall, which I think are very attractive, but it all depends on some of the like of individual. Adrian, about your doubt, would you say imperfect is perfect? As all existing would probably be due to an imperfection resulting in the stars and everything in between? Adrian, the only thing I can say is that the imperfect is the perfect incomplete. In other words, the perfect results from work and dedication of someone in perfecting the imperfect. We consider the Earthlings with an average intelligence consistent with his current stage of release of brain functions. You are advanced in philosophy, arts, music, have excellent literati, but is less than 5% who are actually involved with these intellectual characteristics. Most of your population is only concerned with the problems of everyday life and everyday fun. This is a mental lethargy characteristic of brains with little activation. The mean mental development of your society will greatly increase as the planet increases the level of frequency. Some asked about how your scientists, Albert Einstein, compared with us. Well, he was a missionary, like many who were here as Nikola Tesla, Victor Schauberger, among many others, to provide the necessary level of development, at the time of your society. They had already activated the brain in the limit of level 1 to level 2, had a capacity far beyond the average of the Earthlings. After the passage of the Earth for level 1, we will have the opportunity to exchange knowledge, exchange of experts between the planets, development of teaching by telepathy, among other new features to accelerate the development of the new society. The community Galactica, provides many facilities of relationship with similar ethnicities, and will officially submit you to several societies. Once part of the community, Galactica automatically belongs of all affiliated communities across the universe, millions of societies. When we all are at the end of the fourth dimension, the brain will be fully activated and we will pass only to be energy, light beings, living in places where there is only satisfaction and joy of living. What I can talk about us? Well, we are humanoids, have habits inherent to our colonies, we wash, feed ourselves, we exercise, we have holographic interactive games, we have a game very similar to your chess, we hear music, drink wine of various kinds of fruits, and talk a lot. We have some pets, and greatly appreciate nature. For some who asked, we have exercises of martial techniques, but only with the purpose of exercise, not to fight. There are races that practice training for fights and contests of strength, and many types of team games. There are not humanoid races with many eyes, and many arms, as some have asked, only the descendants of insects has these characteristics. There are no fights or interdimensional battles, as some ask. There are fights between races, yeah, until today, but even in the third dimension. Hence the great importance of galactic societies, to ponder the situations, and to support the oppressed. What are the safe places in my area to try to survive the events? I have already explained that higher ground, away from the coast, and shadow, are the places with higher probability of being safe. I am not a prophet. The tectonic movements have unpredictable variations. The weather on your planet is so unstable, causing accidents including to spacecrafts. There is no way to predict atmospheric cataclysms that could be generated from the tectonic events, and high radiation. Knowing the odds, you are smart enough to recognize the best possibilities, in the regions close to where you reside. It would be irresponsible of me to determine specific locations for each region, about the time at the fourth dimension, between incarnations in the third dimension. Some mates continue to send hundreds of questions about the fourth dimension. I believe I have been very clear about it until now, but let's simplify. You die, go into the fourth dimension, is received by blue beings and directed, will remember all the other incarnations, will rediscovers known people who are passing through the area of the fourth dimension too, will be informed of all the colonies that are on your level of frequency where you can embody again. You can choose the location where you have larger numbers of friends or acquaintances. You cannot interact, from there, with your relatives incarnated here, just send subliminal messages, if they are responsive enough. There are no children among the disembodied third dimension, are all adults, because there is no concept of age in the fourth dimension. There are spirits more or less experienced, the wisest and the most ignorant. Each one will be with your group, the corresponding level in a community, appropriate to its frequency, among the many that exist in the region of the fourth dimension. Theoretically, you could stay along in the fourth dimension, but will want to return to the third dimension, not to distance you from the known groups of your relatives and friends. You can choose to stay there, waiting for the disembodiment of a loved one. In this case will be performing volunteer work, helping the blue beings in the orientation of other humanoids. You can choose to go back to help friends, groups who have fallen behind in their development of frequency, as a volunteer. As you can see, there are many possibilities. You will notice that there is not your place yet, will feel dislocated, and want to return to the third dimension as soon as remember your whole career, as a humanoid. I hope I have cleared the doubts of all. Another issue that continues to generate questions, it is about interdimensional interaction. There is no interest in beings from another dimension to interact with you. These ideas should have left of creative minds but not consistent with the truth of life in the third dimension. It's only story. It's like a mirror. You point to an aboriginal and tell him that you will hold the spirit there forever if he does not deliver the gold nuggets. Only a story. Dimensional beings more advanced do not need anything from the third dimension. They are taking care of their lives and have absolutely no motive or reason to interact here. Techniques of invisibility, levitation and mental holographic manipulation can often be confused with events of another dimension, but they are all techniques of the third dimension. How will be the events predicted? The brown dwarf is approaching, and the planets of the solar system are thrilled by the pressure of the energy field that precedes the system. 4 ships of the community Galactica are following the system. We do not know what may be planning. What do you call Nibiru? Is the largest planetoid that orbits the brown dwarf. Well, taking all the doubts, it is totally uninhabited. The system is available for those who want to live in a cold planet like Saturn. I guarantee that there are much nicer places. Mars would be one of them. According to the current route, the forecast continues the same. In early September it will be at 1 AU from Earth, and in early October it will be face-to-face with Earth. The consequences are mainly the effects on the tides and realignments of tectonic plates. With the tectonic movement, volcanic processes will spread to all regions of contact between tectonic plates, without exception. All volcanoes that have not yet erupted will become active for sure. Avoid these areas is a cautious procedure. The presence of the system between the Sun and Earth will cause CMEs direct toward the Earth, and this will cause the interruption of your electronic systems. The effect of gravitational interaction between the 2 celestial bodies will destabilize the orbits of your satellites, literally. Even your moon may be affected. We have some magnetic propulsion units installed on the moon to try to correct to the maximum extent possible the current lunar orbiter. In the case of major events we are ready to attempt an emergency rescue, first to people in level 1, and they will help us in the subsequent rescue of survivors. I believe we will receive orders to intervene in October, if no change of orbital current framework. All changes on the planet will culminate with the alignment of the planet with the center of the Milky Way, on December 21, 2012, date which coincidentally ends the cycle of galactic translation of your solar system, and the reversal of the galactic hemisphere. On that date, the planet will officially to the level 1 of frequency. This is the general framework of this event, if nothing is changed until then. After 2012, there will be many contacts of other societies, supervised by the Community Galactica to help you to organize your new government. Technologies for reconstruction and social organization will be provided. Your current governments and their associates will be neutralized and prevented from taking control of society on the planet again. Your armies will be neutralized and disarmed. The planet's resources will be made available to all races remaining. Your new representatives will speak on behalf of the people of planet Earth, and no longer in specific ethnic groups or nations. You will choose your new partners, the species that may coexist with you, in the bonds of friendship and technological development. I believe that with these explanations, I should have taken a lot of pending doubts on hundreds of questions. Thanks for watching. Join our channel. You are welcome there.